am the host of the show. You will see other faces as things go along, and I'll kind of talk about that here in just a moment. But what this show is about is Disney. Plain and simply, nothing else really, all about some Disney. I posted some teaser trailers that kind of give you a hint of what's to come. And as this progresses, hopefully the video quality will get better too, my show quality will get better. But the focus is bringing Disney and bringing the magic of Disney home to you guys. I love Disney with a magical passion. I'll use the word magical way too much. And I want to share that with you guys. I mean, there are a lot of people that don't have the opportunity to get to the parks or don't have the opportunity to learn about things like that. Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to try to give as much information to you guys so that hopefully you guys can enjoy the passion that I do. So this episode is going to be about the episode and about the series and about me episode. So we'll go ahead and start off with the show itself. Mondays with Mickey, again, it's all about Disney. So one of the big pieces that we'll be talking about frequently is going to be the parks and resorts themselves. Everything from Disneyland in Anaheim, the original, the place where Walt walked. Disney World in Florida, which of course includes Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, once upon a time also known as MGM Studios, and it's going to change names again here soon. Of course, Animal Kingdom will be in that pile. Then you got things like Blizzard Beach, Typhoon Lagoon, Downtown Disney, etc., etc. Then you've got Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Tokyo, Tokyo Disney Sea, Hong Kong Disneyland, and then Shanghai, and so on and so forth. So I definitely will be trying to cover things that are going on in the parks, from their promotions to amenities that they're going to be offering, reviews on restaurants and hotels and rides and such. And of course, why they're in the news. Things happen. Special events, big changes, so on and so forth. So I'm going to try to cover that stuff frequently each week. Of course, the movies and TV. The movies are the bread and butter of Disney. It's where Disney came from. They're animated movies. Speaking of, might as well break off on a quick tangent now. Today, in 1955, Lady and the Tramp was released for the first time. So technically, we are starting the show on the birthday of Lady and the Tramp. So congratulations, Lady and the Tramp. But back to it, movies, everything from their live movies they've been doing recently, like Saving Mr. Banks, Maleficent, classic Disney animation, Frozen obviously is included in that. Lion King is another great choice. The Pixar animation like Toy Story, Incredibles, WALL-E, Finding Nemo. Marvel, the gaggle of Marvel movies that have come out recently. Thor, Avengers, Spider-Man, Hulk, all that wonderful stuff that's been coming out of the Marvel Studios now with the help of Disney. Star Wars, need I say more? I mean, there's so much coming up now, it's ridiculous. And of course, on the TV side of things, the Disney Channel XD, with their original movies, their TV series. I'll try to cover as much of that as possible, because that's the bread and butter of Disney. It's where Disney really got its foot in the door of the world, essentially. Then games. Games have a couple fronts. You have the classic board games, like Disney's Monopoly, Disney Headbands, Star Wars Monopoly, Disney Trivia games, and so on and so forth. So we'll be covering stuff like that. We'll also be covering the video game side of things, like Disney Infinity, both the original 2.0 and then the forthcoming 3.0 Star Wars. Epic Mickey 2, the Disney Facebook games, Midway Mania is a game for the Wii. So it's not only a ride, but it's also a game you can play at home. And then, anything involving that. And that's one of those things I'll probably actually bring my son involved, because he is a huge video game fan, along with being a huge Disney fan. So, he of course has Infinity, so he's going to want to talk about it all the time. And of course, he's also a YouTube fan, and since this is going on YouTube, that's not helping. Another subject that I'm going to cover are things like crafts. My wife is a big craft person. So she'll definitely be involved with that. And when I talk about crafts, I mean things like character themed flower pots. My wife's knitting a Mickey Mouse blanket right now for me. Advent calendars, Disney vacation calendar. We're doing luggage tags for our trip coming up in September. You can do different clothing options, bags, basically things you can do it yourself at home and get that Disney feel and that Disney magic in your home without spending big bucks. So we're definitely going to touch base on that. Collectibles, things like the Disney pin trading. My whole family's involved in pin trading. We're not hardcore, but we're definitely fans of pin trading. So we'll definitely want to touch on pin trading and the pitfalls and the fun things about it. We'll touch on Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, the card game that's based out of Magic Kingdom. Penny presses, which is a very inexpensive collectible that is all over the Disney parks. Home decor type things, like we're trying to redo our bathroom in a mini Mickey theme. And then things like scrapbooks. Whether you buy it at the parks or whether you make it from scratch at home, scrapbooks are a fantastic thing to collect and hold together all your memories from a trip. So all those type of collectibles, and it's also a do-it-yourself thing too. So collectibles are going to be a big topic that'll come up. Because I am involved with Disney in the regards of the travel side of things, and not Disney directly, let me be clear. I am a travel agent. But because I focus so much on Disney, I'll be bringing up things like special deals and promotions. Like they just released the 2016 prices today for Disney. You'll see me bringing up things like the free dining. That's a huge promotion each year. This year was insane. So I'll get to bring some of that to you because of my attachment to the industry. I am a big history buff. So history and events are all going to be big things that I'll be bringing up. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. So, talking about the history of Disney. So when Walt had Oswald, the rise and fall of Oswald before Mickey. And then once he finally brought Mickey into the fold, where Disney went from there. Things of that nature. Events like the Diamond Celebration, the 60th anniversary celebration out at Disneyland Anaheim. The D23 Expos, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties, Flower and Garden Festivals out at Epcot, Star Wars weekends. Come on now, guys. All those kinds of things we'll get an opportunity to talk about. Again, because I'm hitting Disney a little more often than I used to, I'm going to be doing trip reviews, talking about the resorts, talking about things going on in the parks, things we liked, things we didn't. I'm going to try to film as much as I can so that way I can bring some of the magic home to you guys. There's a gaggle of Disney stuff out there, videos out there, especially on YouTube, where you can see stuff. So even if I can't get everything, there's other places you can get it. But I'm going to try to get it all together here in one place so it'll be a little easier for those who are trying to get information and get an idea of whether this is something they really want to do. And for the record, until you've been, you won't fully understand. But we'll get more to that later. So anything Disney, anything and everything Disney related is what the show is going to be about. And I really invite you guys, the viewers, to contact me either through comments on YouTube or follow the links to my Facebook, send me messages, whatever you guys got to do. Please engage me and ask for things that you want to hear about. If you want me to talk about a certain restaurant, let me know. I'll be happy to dig up the information and do some stuff for you. If you want me to talk about the upcoming video game, please let me know. I'll find out information. I'll make it happen for you. This show is not only about me sharing my love of Disney with you guys, but it's also an information source for you. So if you want something, let me know. I'll be happy to try to tie it here into the show. So with that said, let me get on a quick about me thing. My name again is Michael Knigge. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and now living in Greensboro, North Carolina. I've been here since 1994, so we're about 21 years. Save 1 year I spent in Jacksonville, North Carolina. But for the most part, like I said, I've been in North Carolina for 21 years. I love it. Met my wife here. Had my family here. It's a nice state to live in. I have no complaints. Um, like everyone else, I grew up with the movies. I think my first movie was Dumbo, actually, my first Disney movie. But movies like Lady and the Tramp were very important to me growing up. I got into Oliver and Company, all kinds of Disney movies growing up that I absolutely loved. And that's really what brought me to Disney. Today, I still love the animated movies. I love movies like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Frozen I actually liked. And I know people are probably sounding like, wow, he actually liked that? That was a huge movie. It is. And I like it a lot. So, but I'm not crazy Frozen. Now, my son, he will run around singing it. So, I love all the animated movies. I love the most recent one with Big Hero 6. I want to see Inside Out. But on that same token, the live action movies they've come out with, I've absolutely adored as well. Maleficent, fantastic. I love the change in perspective. And had that come out while we were doing this show, I definitely would do a full-out review of it. And if somebody wants a review of a movie, I certainly will. Just let me know. But I loved Maleficent. Saving Mr. Banks is probably my favorite Disney movie right now. It touches not only on my love for Disney, but my love for history. And getting to see earlier Disney, and seeing how he put that stuff together and how he brought the writer of Mary Poppins into the fold was awesome. And knowing that a lot of this movie was based off of audio recordings that she demanded, which makes it very historically accurate, which I absolutely loved. I do want to see Tomorrowland, even though I know it's not based on the parks or based on anything historical. The principles and the ideals are very much what created the Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom, and of course in Disneyland. So, it's very Walt. It's very much his vision, and I really want to see it. I've heard great things about the story and about the movie. Unfortunately, I've also heard negative things, but that's 99% not people saying the movie was bad. It's people talking about, oh, well, it didn't make as much money as it was supposed to. I don't care about how much money it made. I didn't invest in the movie. I do care that investors look at it like a failure and they won't continue down that vein. But the point is, I want to see the movie because it's an original piece, and it's very much touching on visions that Walt personally had. Back to growing up with this stuff. I was probably one of the few 5-year-olds who have ever come up with a bucket list in their lives. How I came up with a bucket list when I was 5, I have no clue, but I do remember it. It was 3 items. First item was go to Walt Disney World. Second item, become an Eagle Scout. Third item, learn to play the trombone. Well, I got 2 out of 3. I became an Eagle Scout and I've been to Walt Disney World. The trombone thing, I touched it a little bit. I know I can do it. I just never had the opportunity to learn it. So you never know. I could still get it. Of course, my bucket list is getting a lot larger now that I'm older, but that's another subject. So back to it. As the years went on, I had a couple missed opportunities to go. Very disappointed that I never got to go at a younger age. Usually got souvenirs from those who did go, which was more of a tease, but I'm glad they thought of me to bring something. But finally in 2000, I was 18, I was in high school, my senior year, and we decided to go for the Millennium Celebration as a family. The economy was good, we had the finances, my stepdad made it happen. So we went off to for a week. We stayed at All-Star Music Resort, and we just had a great time. We used the park hoppers and the water parks and more, so we hit Blizzard Beach, we hit all the parks, we kind of went and did what we wanted to do. And it was an amazing opportunity. Unfortunately, I was 18 and full of ego. So I was like, oh, I'm a man. I'm not going to like Disney like that. I'm just going for the rides. Well, I got there. I got there and it changed. I caught the bug. Although I didn't fully understand the magic yet, I was feeling it. I loved it. I had an amazing time. Realized it's not all about little kids. It's about everybody. It brings out who we are at the core. And lets us forget all the negative things happening in our lives, and how it puts us in a place where we can just be ourselves. So I really enjoyed myself. I loved it. Later that year, I met the woman who would become my wife and her lovely daughter, who is now my daughter. And as we were progressing, I realized she had a love for Disney just as much as I did. So we originally planned on having our honeymoon to be Disney as well, because you know what? Why not? We love it. Finances didn't work out because we were putting the wedding together pretty much on our own for the most part. We did have some help, and I appreciate it for those who helped. But financially, it became too much. We couldn't make it happen and move out and so much more. So we ended up giving up our honeymoon entirely. So we didn't go to Disney. We canceled the trip. Fast forward several years later. We're talking about 7 years actually later. We decided we wanted to take our family to Disney World. Our son is finally old enough where he would pretty much enjoy it. And this is the trip where I actually learned what the Disney magic was all about. We drove 12 hours. We were going to stay at All-Star Movies, Disney's All-Star Movies Resort. And we drove 12 hours straight. I hadn't slept much from the day before, like an hour or two. So I'd almost been up 24 hours. I was struggling in really bad shape. But we got there and about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the kids were like, well, we got to go to Magic Kingdom. We're here. We got to go to a park. We got to go to a park. We got to go to a park. It's like, all right, fine. Let's go. I wasn't feeling good. I really wanted to sleep in, go back to sleep. But they wanted to go. I wasn't going to deny them. And it was our first day, so why not? So we get on the bus. We take the bus transportation out there and get out in front of the Magic Kingdom, start heading up to the gates. My son hadn't seen the castle yet. He was so busy talking and excited about where we were and what we were getting ready to do. He was looking at us, not looking at Magic Kingdom. So he had no idea what was coming. For those who are familiar with Disneyland, the castle is smaller. It's much shorter. So it was designed so that, once you got onto Main Street, it was at the end of Main Street and it would draw you down towards it without overwhelming you. Disney World, however, was designed very differently. Disney World was designed with the intention to have that castle huge so you could see it from a distance, and it was a beacon, something drawing you in to a better place. So we're coming up to the Magic Kingdom. He hasn't seen it. Even though it's poking out from on top, he hasn't seen it yet. We come in, we come to the main gates, we push to the left around the circle so he wouldn't see it. We went into the Emporium, got their signature books and such, and then we come out of the Emporium, make that immediate left. And he comes around, looks up, and he sees the magic. He sees the Cinderella Castle at the very end. His eyes get massive. His jaw drops. He's like, Daddy, 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 Daddy. He's grabbing my leg and pulling on my pant like, Daddy, Daddy, look, look. I was like, what? It's really real, Daddy. It's really real. It's really real. And he was just so excited and so overwhelmed that these things he had seen in his short life, and in his mind, had been forever because, he was 5. He didn't know any better. But in his mind, it was his entire life. He's always seen these images of this castle, and he thought it was just a computer-animated thing that you see at the beginning of movies. He had no idea that this was a real thing. So he sees it. He sees this castle, and he realizes, oh my gosh, it's real. It's really here. And at that moment, he realized the magic is real. This thing that's always started off all these movies he's loved, and the enjoyment and the special magic that he felt watching these movies that sparked his imagination and brought him so much happiness, he realized that magic is real. That there is a place that you can touch it, taste it, smell it, experience it, feel it, and be completely immersed in it. There is a place where you can live out dreams. There's a place you can actually go and be yourself and be a family and not have any cares in the world. He saw it, and through him, I saw it for the first time. I'd been there before. I loved it, but I didn't understand it. And thanks to him, I did. And I fell in love with Disney in a different way. So we enjoyed the parks. There were a lot of beautiful moments, fun moments, things that I'll always remember. But that one moment was the defining moment that truly told me what Disney was all about. A few years later, which was actually last year, we did try to go again. Unfortunately, life got in the way. So I decided to make it up to the kids, and this year we're going. Not only are we going this year, but we're going on my son's birthday that week. It's close enough to my birthday and my daughter's birthday that we're all going to get to celebrate. My wife, we're going to try to tie into, because she's close. She just had her birthday. And we're going to make it a huge celebration as a family in Disney World for a week. We're going to actually stay at All Star Sports. So while we're there, I'll try to take as many pictures and video and things as possible, so that way I can kind of bring it back and let you guys enjoy the fun too. That said, we're planning on going next year too. We're going to try to make up our honeymoon, the honeymoon that we lost. So my wife and I will be going for a week by ourselves. And the kids are understanding that they get it. So it's going to be interesting. And again, more pictures and video, and we're going to try to share that magic and that love that we get to enjoy while we're there with you guys. And hopefully give you guys some really good information too for those who want to go. But with the September trip, originally it was going to be a huge group trip, like 20 of us going. And since then, most have kind of backed out of the trip. There's one that might be coming back. But during that process of pulling these people together, organizing the trip, and helping them realize that this was possible, I realized how much joy I was getting. I realized just how much I enjoyed making people's dreams come true. Their dreams of Disney. Knowing full well what I was setting up for them, because I had experienced that magic and seeing that glow in their eyes when they finally realized that they're going to get to experience this dream with me. I found a calling, if you will, and I decided I wanted to do this at least semi-professionally. I want to do it professionally full time, but at the very least in the meantime, I want to help people live out their dreams. So I decided to search for a travel agency that I could join up with and help make it possible for people. I looked into earmarked agencies, which are the agencies that Disney has certified and recognized as doing it at their level and doing it the right way. And I found one in 3D Travel Company. Through lots of interview processes, they offered me a position with them. And of course, I went through all the training, not only theirs, but Disney's, because one of the requirements for earmarked agencies is that you have to go through Disney's College of Knowledge. So I have my certificates behind me. We went through all that. My knowledge I had to begin with, all the instruction from Disney, instruction from them, testing. Early this year, I was officially released to go and do what I want to do, and that's hopefully bring some dreams to people. This vlog is not going to be about my travel agency side of things. It's there. And I'm more than happy to help anybody who wants to do it. But that's not what this is necessarily about. This is about me sharing my love of Disney with you guys. That said, if you want some help with any of it, please come contact me. Right now, I specialize in Walt Disney World. I'm hoping to add in Disneyland here shortly in California, as well as the Disney Cruise Line. I would love to add in the international parks and get Alani in there, which I didn't mention earlier, should have. Alani being their resort out in Hawaii. I want to get those added in as soon as I can, so that I can offer more options to people and more opportunities to experience the Disney magic, including things like Adventures by Disney. So that's coming, and when it gets to that point, great, but that's neither here nor there. Again, that's not the focus. So, why is Disney important to me? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing any of this? For me, it's important to me because I've seen what it does to my family. It brings us together. As in Lilo and Stitch, they talk about Ohana. It really does celebrate the concept of Ohana. It takes all the outside influences off your shoulders for the time that you're there and says, you know what, don't think about it. We're going to immerse you in nothing but imagination, belief in magic, and just pure joy, and you're not going to think about anything you deal with outside in the real world. You're here to a place of imagination and dreams, and it really is. It builds us as a family. That experience together is amazing. I'm looking forward to going with my wife because it'll be a unique experience to just be her and I immersed in that. But as a family experience and having friends too, if we can have friends with us, it's a very, very emotional experience that brings us and binds us together. I love Disney. We have Disney stuff all over our home because it reminds me of what life could be. A favorite character? Well, I have two. I have Sorcerer Mickey and I have Stitch. Sorcerer Mickey is your ideal for me. He's very, he's the guy I want to be. He gets into things he shouldn't be getting into, but he does it in an innocent way. He's not trying to be, evil or whatever. He believes in imagination. He believes in excitement, and just living your life. I love the look of him too. For me, of all the Mickeys, he's the one that stands out. For me, he's my image of Disney. And then I got Stitch. Stitch is almost a reflection of me. Yeah, he's built to do destruction and horrible things and tear things apart, but he's cute and cuddly and a lot of fun. And I relate to both sides of that. I could be the guy that you're terrified of if I want to be, but I generally am not. He's a gentle, I wouldn't say he's a giant, he's like really short, but he's kind of like that gentle giant. And I really love Stitch, and he's so much fun. I also kind of relate to Pooh Bear, because I like to eat. But that's another subject. But, that's kind of the characters I love. I brought that up because I wanted you to kind of get a feel for who I am. And as things go along, you'll learn more about me. You'll learn more about Disney, more about the show. As I get people on, you'll get a chance to learn more about them. And hopefully, you'll be excited to learn more about us. And, you'll want to be a part. Next week, I intend to talk about the FastPass system. Both the original legacy system that they're still using out in Anaheim and the newer system of FastPass Plus that they're using out in Disney World. Including the use of the magic bands with all of that. That'll be the focus of the show. We'll still talk about some other things along with it, some little housekeeping type stuff and news type stuff, but that will be the main topic of the show, is the FastPass Plus. So with that, I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble for at least 30 minutes at this point. I hope you enjoy what I'm bringing to you, and I hope you're excited about what this show is going to be. If you do, please subscribe to my channel here. Follow the links at the end, to my Facebook. Like me over there, because I'm going to have it in both places. I'm going to announce stuff over there that's coming here on YouTube. And just follow me if you enjoyed it. I would love to have you, and I'm honored that you took the time to listen. And remember, at the end of the day, Walt said it best, that one thing we should always remember is that this was all started by a mouse. Thank you, and have a great day.